I'll be right back. All right, sorry.
That jersey. Jesus.
Bring it back, baby. Dude, bring it back. The Redskins, dude. Okay. Here we go. All righty.
That is ghetto.
Here we are for another week of action. We're rolling on into week 3. We got some good action ahead of us. We got not one, but 2 Monday Night Football games ahead of us. And guess what? They're better than the dumps that we had last week. So let's get this thing going. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Meat on the 50. You know what it is. It is time for our picks. It's time for our weekly picks edition where we're breaking it down. We are breaking down all of the action ahead of us, and we got some good action, some good games, some throwaway games, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's start the show. Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Meat on the 50. You know what it is. It is time to pick what we think is going to happen. We got some good games. We got some action ahead of us. And as always, to break it down, he's joining me right by my side. 3 seasons. I've said it, I think, 3 times in a row now. One of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just ready for another intense week of football. Excited to have another guest on the show. Welcome, Isaac.
Yeah, I like it. It's going to be good. It's going to be very interesting. And he already ruined the guest's first name, but don't worry. We'll get into all of that in just a second. But first, we have to remind them. I know he's a little antsy. He's a little excited. I'm a little excited. It's the season of the guest. How can you not be excited? But first, we have to remind everybody how we did last week. So let's quickly put that up on the screen. So for yourself, 9-7, 1-0 on your guaranteed victory. Niners dominating. For myself, 10-6, 0-1 on my guaranteed victories. Lions getting cheated. And then Jordan, our guest last week, 8-8, 1-0 on his guaranteed victory. Also doubling down on the Niners. Look at that. Nice and easy. Let's wipe those off the screen because, like Brandon alluded to, it's the season of the guest. We have another guest for the show, for you, for our audience, and for everybody else out there. So please give our new friend to the show, one of my best friends, one of Brandon's good friends, one of our new friends to the program. Please help me welcome Mr. Isaac Gonzalez. Yes, Isaac, welcome to the show. Great to have you on. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Brandon. Good seeing you guys.
Of course.
Been following the show since you guys started. The fantasy guys. That's an OG drop.
True. Yep. See, it's
fantasy
true.
guys 21. I kept thinking, are you going to update the year every year?
Dude, that was a good point, though. Isaac brought up a good point last week. If you didn't know, if you're new, or if you were following the channel last season, then you're wondering what the hell happened. We have rebranded. Yes, we have gone from Fantasy Time to the Sports Guys because that's what we're about. We're just about sports, and that's what we like to talk about. So that's what we are going to stick to. Isaac, go ahead and introduce yourself. Go ahead and let them know who your allegiance lies to. I think they can kind of get the idea. And then, I like to ask the 2 questions of who is your on your favorite team, who is your current favorite player, and then who is your all-time favorite player on your current team. Your floor is yours, my friend.
All right, well, my name is Isaac Gonzalez. I'm a offensively diehard Raider fan, unfortunately. Same for the Raiders, the Warriors and the A's. But I will admit that the A's have been knocked down a peg from third, and I've inserted just the entire UFC above the A's. So it just goes Raiders, Warriors, UFC, then A's. So those are my allegiances, and thank God for Steph Curry. I'll just say that. For as far as the Raiders, my favorite current player right now has to be. I'm gonna cheat. It's Max Crosby hands down because he's one of the last Oakland Raiders ever picked, and he's actually really good.
Yep.
But right now it's Devontae Adams, even though he was a Packer for his whole career.
Okay.
But,
I like
and
it.
then all time it has to be Kenny the Snake Stabler, left-handed. Like this guy just didn't give a shit. He partied all night and then went and just dropped dubs on the field.
He'd be hungover.
Smoked cigarettes.
Yep.
He's like he said, I don't need more than 4 hours of sleep to play a 3-hour game or something like that. I was like, yep, I wish I was alive then.
Yeah. Kenny Stabes is the man. Yeah, definitely a great choice. And yeah, Devontae Adams, Max Crosby. It was picked also in that Nick Bosa draft.
Oh man!
And so Max Crosby has definitely pulled his own weight. Obviously, Nick Bosa definitely the better of the two defensive players, but Max Crosby can hold his own. I'll say that Max Crosby can definitely hold his own, and
Absolutely.
he's definitely. He's definitely a great defensive weapon to have. So, for Isaac and for all of our new viewers, for our returning viewers, let's break this down. What is our show about? Well, our weekly picks episode is very simple. It's just that. We're going to go through the games. We're going to tell you what we think is going to happen. We're going to predict the winner. We're going to give you a guaranteed victory, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it in just our fashion. We're going to do it in just grand old fashion. So, I think the boys are ready. I'm ready. So let's get into it. Starting us off on Thursday, we got a good one. We got a team that staved off embarrassment last week in the desert. Could not go 0-2. They did not go 0-2. They're now 1-1, and that is the New York Football Giants continuing their West Coast tour, traveling to, in my opinion, the best team in football. They're traveling. They're traveling from the desert up to the Bay Area, down to Santa Clara to travel to play in Levi's Stadium to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Brandon, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I got to roll with my squad, obviously. 2-0. They're at home. We're in New York. It'd obviously be a different story, but, the crowd.
MetLife, you don't want
first home openers that I haven't gone to. I usually go every year, but, I've missed a couple. COVID year, couldn't go. This year, Thursday night, kind of tough. I wasn't going to be able to make it. Wish I could. But, I got to roll with the Niners. I think Christian McCaffrey has a really solid game. I think the defense plays well. I do think it's relatively close, just because, New York always plays us well. But not having Saquon Barkley, that's a huge, that's a huge downer for the New York Giants. So I'm going to take the Niners in this one, and a pretty close one at 31-23.
Okay, I like it. Isaac, what do you got for us?
Man, so since I work for the Niners, I see those. This is the closest I've ever been to NFL players. The Niners are going to absolutely dog walk the Giants.
I like it.
They're just like New York got down big against Arizona, and you can't do that to SF. You do that, you get down 14 to SF, it's gonna exponentially grow to a 4-score game. So that's not gonna last. I'd say SF 35-13.
That's a good point. Yeah, if the Giants, the Niners are not the Cardinals. So you give the Niners a 14-point lead, just like you said. That's going to snowball into a 28-point lead. That's going to snowball into a 35-point lead. It may even snowball into a 40-point lead because we've already seen a team put up a 40-burger on the Giants. So we could see a team put up remember, we're talking about the New York Football Giants that were 60-0 through 6 quarters.
6 quarters.
60 points to 0. So, I mean, yeah. The Giants get down 14 to the Niners. It is donezo. It is finito. But with all that being said, yeah, 1,000%. The San Francisco 49ers, I fully expect to handle business in this game. And yeah, I expect a large deficit. I expect a handled victory. I expect a 32-17 victory on Thursday night there in Santa Clara, making it nice and easy. The boys can rest into the weekend, and we'll see what happens going into the week 4. Niners handle business on Thursday. Moving on to Sunday morning. We got the Tennessee Titans coming off a dramatic overtime victory against the Chargers, traveling to the most interesting city in America. Yes, that's right. We're talking about Cleveland. Yeah, they're traveling to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Dukies, a.k.a. the Cleveland Browns. Isaac, what do you got for me on this one?
Cleveland, the D-line's good, but I think since Tennessee was able to beat out the Chargers at home, and the Chargers have a really good, supposed to be paper on good defense with Derwin and Mack and Bosa, Asante Jr. I think if they, Chubb's out for the rest of the year with that.
He's done.
Oh man, that's so bad. Yeah, so he's out. I don't see and Deshaun doesn't look like he's worth even a third of that guaranteed contract. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be close because I don't see Tannehill exploding.
I like it.
So I think it'll be Tennessee 24-17.
I don't know what you mentioned. What's interesting about the city of Cleveland. I'm not interested whatsoever. So that was, I don't know what that was. If you were just tired of or you need to get some stuff.
But what do you
LeBron
mean,
murals?
dude? You
We're
could
gonna
see
go ahead
the
and
Cleveland
move on
Cavaliers. You can see the Cleveland Browns, dude.
No, I mean, not interesting.
You can see steel
I do
factories.
think that the Cleveland Browns, your Cleveland Browns, win this game 20-17.
Watch your mouth.
I just don't think that I think Tannehill just not going to be able to go in there and win. I mean, Isaac had it pretty pegged. It's really going to be a close game. It's honestly a toss-up, but I just think with Cleveland being at home, I think that they'll pull this one off by a field goal. It's 20-17 Cleveland.
I like it. Yeah. Low-scoring shootout. Yeah,
I can see that.
Deshaun Watson has not looked good. And that's what I was kind of saying in our Week 1 episode when we had Andy on was, I did not expect Deshaun Watson to come out looking good at all. He looked bad when he was off his suspension. He started playing last season. He's looked bad this year. So he's probably going to be a Week 8, Week 9 guy. Before he kind of, I feel like, feels more comfortable. We'll see what happens. The Browns defense is going to have to carry that team because, Nick Chubb's gone. Your workhorse is gone. If you're going to be like Isaac and try and pick up these sneaky running backs in fantasy and see if they can do anything, I mean, you can. But we'll see what happens. But
Dude, sometimes I hear goal.
The Cleveland Browns running backfield does not look like what it did last year when they had Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, right? Kareem Hunt could have easily backed them up, but he's a free agent right now. So we'll see what happens with the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to roll with the Titans. The Titans aren't impressive at all, but they do have D-Hop. They do have King Henry. They do have an okay defense. It's not crazy. It's just Ryan Tannehill, man. The dude's terrible. He's just horrible. He is the worst. He's bad for Cousins. That's what Ryan Tannehill is. He's just the terrible version. But with that being said, we're going Tennessee Titans handling business 28-17 on the road, moving to 2-1. Cleveland Browns moving to 1-2. Moving on to our next game. We got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Detroit rolling Motor City Lions. Heated battle. Falcons 2-0. Lions 1-1. Should be 2-0. I mean, let's all say it. But we got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Ford Field in Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. Brandon, what do you got for me?
Yeah, not much to say about this one. Not a really interesting game, but
Okay.
Falcons coming
Okay.
out. I think that 2-0. That wasn't expected, but I do think that Detroit having the second game at home and kind of the heartbreak going down against Seattle last week. I do think that they are able to pull it together in this game and advance to 2-1. I got them winning this game 31-17.
Yeah, well, and real fast. Last year, I don't know if you remember, but the Seahawks and the Lions put up 80 points. This year, they put up 68 points. So that's just a matchup that produces points. I think, yeah, you're right. I think that definitely doesn't take away from the Lions at all. Isaac, what do you got for us? Yeah,
They're both young offenses. At least like the playmakers on both teams are young. I think it's going to go down to quarterback play for me because I feel like the defenses are kind of comparable. They're both like not like gangbusters on either side, and so I think it's gonna. I trust Goff more than Ritter. That's kind of a wild sentence to say, but Goff's he's actually playing pretty good. He's actually playing pretty good this year so far, and in the end of last year. Minus a couple of those interceptions. But
you got another
I think
shootout.
I'm going to say Detroit 38-35.
Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons. I mean,
it's going to be like a Big 12 game.
They're
no defense.
Somewhat, they're getting by. They're getting by. They're getting by with Bijan Robinson. They're getting by with Tyler Algier. They're getting by with Drake London. They're getting by with some of these other guys. Kyle Pitts still has not. We haven't seen Kyle Pitts. I mean, this buildup of a tight end not really being utilized. So, but the Atlanta Falcons and Arthur Smith, right? Those guys, they are getting the job done. And then you have Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. And obviously aside from a fluke play, the Lions look good. I mean, the Lions look good. They've had two really good first halves. They've been able to score points. They've been able to move the ball up and down the field. We're about to see Jahmyr Gibbs because David Montgomery is going to be out for 3 weeks. So, I mean, here we go. Buckle your seatbelt. Here we go. I think, I'm going to roll with you guys. The Falcons have kind of been that kind of team that you don't really know what's going to happen. But I think like Brandon was saying, second game at home for the Detroit Lions. I definitely think they bounce back after it was a heartbreaking loss for sure. A heartbreaking loss last week against the Seahawks. So we're going Detroit. We're going to go 28. I'm liking that number this week. We're going 28-24. I think it's a close game. I think it's going to be a shootout like you guys think. But we're going to go Lions ultimately get the job done. Our next game, we got the New Orleans Saints traveling up to the cheese state of Wisconsin to take on the Green Bay Packers. Isaac, what do you got?
I've seen every snap of Carr's career as a Raider. Even like when I was in the Army and had to pirate all those games from Alaska, I still saw every snap. And he can have like some elite throws, elite sequences, or he could be like pretty mid. And I'm a fan of the guy. And I say that because he has a better defense this time, at least in this matchup, I think, as opposed to the Packers. Yeah. He has good weapons. He always liked a big receiver, like a tall receiver. He has a Michael Thomas. He has a number one with Olave. Love is playing well, kind of, and he's finding his way in the offense. And I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be 24-21. New Orleans. Carr is going to get a big win.
Oh, okay.
In the cheese state.
Okay. I like it. Brandon, what do you got for us?
Yeah, just not impressed with what I saw from Derek Carr on Monday Night Football. This guy is, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I like the guy as a person. It's just like when it comes down to football, ever since he had that injury at Christmas Eve in 2016, I've seen a different Derek Carr. And I know that's a long time ago, but I just think that his confidence he's always trying to gain it back somehow. And he always shoots himself in the foot, unfortunately. So I don't know what to expect. I mean, good for him, good for the Saints for going 2-0, but give me Green Bay at Lambeau Field. I just think Green Bay gets it done. This one could go either way, but I think Green Bay finds a way to get it done. I'm going to say Green Bay wins 28-24.
Yeah, this one is definitely a toss-up of the game, especially just with the quarterback situation going on. Derek kind of still finding his footing there in New Orleans. And then you have Jordan Love on the flip side, who goes from backup to starter finally after all these years. And he's been playing good. He's been playing really good, I think. And aside from some fluke plays in Atlanta, the Green Bay Packers are 2-0. So I'm going to roll with Jordan Love. I'm going to roll with Jordan Love and the Packers this week. I do think they get the job done. And
Aaron Jones still out.
Brandon, 3 weeks in a row, baby. Aaron Jones is still out. A.J. Dillon is taking the lead. And I will say this about A.J. Dillon. No offense to him, because he would destroy me with those thighs. But you are not the one, my friend. You are not the one. So, but with all that being said, Brandon and I going 3 for 3 on our scores, 28-24. Green Bay Packers get the job done over New Orleans Saints. Moving on to 2 and 1. Our next game, we got the Denver Donkeys, the Denver Broncos, traveling all the way to Florida, to the Sunshine State, to South Beach, to the city of Miami, to take on the Miami Dolphins. Brandon, what do you got for me?
Well, I think this is where Denver gets eliminated from the playoffs, because when you go down 0-3 this early in the year, you're done. So, I mean, that's all that needs to be said. So, that's who I'm picking. Obviously, it's the Dolphins, 35-17. Not much more that needs to be said. Tyreek Hill going to go maybe 200 yards. Denver isn't going to do jack. So, just a complete blowout.
I like it.
This is my guaranteed victory, dude. Miami is going to boat race them, speedboat race them, 42-20. Russ looks marginally better. He was marginally better, and he has 0 weapons still. There's no chance. There's no chance he can beat the Dolphins at home. Reek might have 4 touchdowns, bro. He might have 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. This is going to be a very interesting game. I'll say that, because do I fully
You've been tossing the word interesting around very interestingly tonight.
I know. I'm sorry.
Cleveland's interesting. This game interesting.
This is one of those games. This is one of those games where I fully expect the Miami Dolphins to handle business, but then you got Russ and his just little luck, and it may have been a Seattle thing, because it may have just been a strictly Seattle thing, because boy, oh boy, is that the luckiest team in the NFL. But he may have brought it with him. So, could I see the Denver Broncos possibly win this game? Maybe.
Did everyone tear their ACL?
The Miami Dolphins are absolutely going to destroy the Denver Broncos. If the line can protect Tua, Tua's probably going for 400 to 500 yards. Raheem Mostert probably going for more touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, more touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, if he's back on the field, more touchdowns. So this could get ugly very fast, or this could be interesting the entire way through. That's one of those toss-ups. But we're going Miami Dolphins handling business at
when I worked the when I worked the preseason game for the Niners and Broncos. I was on the detail at the end of the game where we help the opposing team. We help get their shit out of the players' bags out of there and into their trucks. Mm-hmm. So I remember when we were finished with that, just Russ came out all clean and showered up and ready out of the locker. He just came out. He was like, "Hey, George." He just kind of walked off, trying to talk to this guy. I'm like, he's just so goofy. He's just such a goofy, silly guy.
He's so corny.
Like Sean Payton said, dude, you're not kissing babies.
You're
not
straight it off. I'm like, this guy is funny, man.
Yeah. He's.
I can't stand him. Miami
Dolphins handling business at home, 34-10. I think they absolutely get dominated at or on the road. Moving on to our next game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego traveling all the way over to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings.
Man,
Isaac, what do you got for me?
Eckler's probably going to be out still. I'm going to say Kirko Bangs.
Yep.
He gets his first win at home, right? He would lead his first win at home. Yeah.
This would be. It's a battle of the 0 and 2.
Oh yeah, they're both 0 and 2. Yeah, so that would be
both 0 and 2. Yes, this is a battle of 0 and 2.
Kirk's gonna get it at home, and they're both starting off slow, so I feel like the game will be a lull, and then we'll randomly get hot at like the third quarter, and it'll end up. I think it'll end up being 28-21 Minnesota, and I think Jefferson's just gonna cook out there.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, he's been on fire. He has been absolutely on fire these first 2 weeks of the season. That's for sure. He's the only one who's been on fire on that team. Brandon, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I just think that, whoever loses this game is getting eliminated from the playoffs. I just feel like 0 and 3 is just, rarely do you ever see that. You're talking about, here's the only thing. The only caveat is obviously there's 17 games now instead of 16. So, you have that extra game to try to make that up. But you're talking about if you go 0 and 3, potentially what I'm thinking to get into the playoffs, unless you're in a really crappy division, which both those teams are not. I guess Minnesota is, but you essentially have to go 10 and 7 to make the playoffs is what I'm seeing. So that means that you have to win 10 of the last 14 games is what we're talking about if you go 0 and 3. So, I just, both teams are going to be desperate. I just feel like Minnesota being at home and the way they gave away that game against Philadelphia last week, I think that Justin Jefferson has a big game, and I see far less turnovers and a little bit of a better defense. And if Eckler's out, that's the Minnesota Vikings weakness appears to be run defense. And if Eckler's not there, they essentially, you're not able to attack their weakness like you would like to. So I'm going to take Minnesota in this one, 27-17.
Yeah, it's going to be this one. Yeah, this one is going to be a good game. I'm excited to actually kind of watch this one because, this is going to be battle of 0 and 2s. Like you guys are saying, these teams are basically now playing for their lives, playing for their playoff lives. Every single game from here on out matters. You can't lose. You really cannot lose any more games. But I do not think that Minnesota gets the job done here. I think the Los Angeles Chargers go into Minnesota. I think Justin Herbert he's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. So I think with that, I think Joshua Kelly, their running back, I think he's better than the guy who, for whatever reason, they thought was better than Dalvin Cook. I'd rather have a 70% Dalvin Cook than 100% Alexander Mattison. This dude, bro, let this dude come off the bench and make him fight for his touches and stuff like that. When you make this guy your horse, he doesn't do anything. He can't do anything. So, the running situation, and that's where you want to know where Minnesota's struggling? Right there. You get rid of your all-star, your pro bowler running back. What do you think's going to happen? You can't establish a run? Oh yeah, no wonder you can't get the pass going. You get rid of Adam Thielen, one of your staple receivers for years. Yeah, no wonder you can't get any symmetry going with the guys. So I'm going Los Angeles Chargers. Keenan Allen having a monster game last week. Wasn't enough, though, to hold off the Tennessee Titans, though. But Los Angeles Chargers get the job done on the road, 28-21. Handling business, going to 1 and 2. Our next game, we got the New England Patriots, the Pats, traveling to MetLife, to the worst turf in all of
graveyard.
Football, the worst field in all of football. Yeah, that thing has snatched more ACLs than I think any
ligament black hole
ever
is what
in the history of mankind. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So we got the New England Patriots. They're traveling to MetLife to take on the New York Jets. Isaac, what do you got for me?
Bill Billagoat / Bill Cheat. He can game plan for Zach Wilson using an Etch-a-Sketch. He does not. He probably doesn't have to do much. It's gonna be a terribly boring game watching Mac Jones trying to do anything. And Zach Wilson, that's just painful. I feel so sorry for Jets fans. Man, that sucks. So it's gonna be another L, but at least New England gets their first win, 20-13.
Yeah, low scoring for sure. Brandon, what do you got for us?
Garbage game in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 24-10. New England Patriots. Moving on.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, we're going 17-10 New England Patriots. And our next game, we got the Buffalo Bills traveling to the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., to then travel to Landover, Maryland, to play the Washington Commanders. Brandon, what do you got for us?
This is going to be an interesting game, honestly. I mean, Washington's 2-0, and they're at home. And, obviously Buffalo coming off a big win last week. But Josh Allen's kind of up and down. You never really know what to expect from him. But give me Buffalo in this one. I just think that, they're able to get past Washington. I think it is a pretty defensive game. So I think it's going to be relatively low scoring. So I'm going to pick Buffalo in this one, 24-21.
I like it.
I firsthand saw what angry Buffaloes can do. So I think it's just the start of them just gaining their footing. We were just a very small road bump, and I think they're just going to keep on going. I think it's going to be an easy W, 35-20, and their trenches are just too strong, and I think Josh Allen will just keep doing what he's doing. I think he'll throw a couple picks, maybe a couple bad throws. He'll probably still drop like 300 plus yards.
Yeah, his performance last week definitely was impressive. He didn't turn over the ball, which is one of his biggest
we
issues
don't
that he
take
has.
away the balls ever.
Luckily for him.
So I mean,
exactly. Luckily for him, he was playing the Raiders defense, who year in and year out
never
just doesn't do anything. So take that as you will. We'll see what happens. But I wouldn't be wearing the Redskins jersey for nothing if I wasn't going with the Washington Commanders, baby. Yeah.
Bamboozled.
Yeah. We're rolling with Sam Howell. We're rolling with Chase Young. We're rolling with Terry the Ferrari, Scary Terry. We're rolling with concussed Logan Thomas. We're rolling with Curtis Samuels. We're rolling with all of them. Give me all of them. Give me all of the Washington Commanders. We're going Riverboat Ron to pull it out of his ass, pull it out of his butt. You know what? Riverboat Ron and the Washington Commanders getting the job done at home, 26-23, winning by a field goal and moving to 3-0. It's getting wild out here.
I like the confidence.
And moving on to our next game, and oh boy, it's Brandon's favorite team. It's my favorite team to announce. We got the Houston Dumpster Fire Texans traveling to the state of Florida, to the city of Jacksonville, to take on the Trevor Lawrence-led Jacksonville Jaguars. Isaac, what do you got for us?
Well, we'll see. We'll see if this is going to be a future fun matchup with these two young quarterbacks. But I think it's going to be T-Law over Stroud, 24-20. I just think Houston just doesn't have enough. They might have something with Stroud, but I don't know if they have everything else yet. So I think T-Law is going to win it. But Jacksonville's rough around the edges, so it might be an ugly win. but I still see him getting it.
I like it. I like it. Brandon, what do you got for us?
I think that this game could go one of two ways. It could be like a relatively like really ghetto low score, like 13 to like 9, like when you that, yeah, just garbage, and then. Or, I mean, and here's the thing, 13-9 Jacksonville, obviously. I don't think there's any way in hell that the Houston Texans win this game. So, D'Amico Ryan, don't know what you were thinking. I know you wanted a payday. Probably should have just won a ring first. But, you're just like everybody else. You leave like Saleh, McDaniel. None of you guys are winning a ring. So, on your own. So, and especially Houston. Miami's got a shot at least. Houston, though, D'Amico Ryan, what are you doing, man? 0-3.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Jacksonville. I'm going to go the other way. I think Jacksonville is going to light them up. I'm going to take them 31-10. I think Jacksonville wins this game at home 31-10.
Yeah, this one. What's funny is, I have fallen prey to guaranteeing that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this game, and the Houston Texans go on to win this game. So, man, oh man, I mean. This game, it goes back and forth every single year. CJ Stroud definitely looked better. Tank Dell definitely looked better. But yeah, we're going with Jacksonville. We're going Trevor Lawrence. We're going Calvin Ridley. We're going Evan Ingram. We're going with all those pieces that offense has now.
Zay Jones,
we're going with Doug Peterson.
Raider legend.
I think Doug Peterson. Yep, Zay Jones, true. Yeah,
Raider legend.
So they're going to retire his number. I think, Doug Peterson, definitely a better coach than D'Amico Ryans, in my opinion. Better head coach, I should say, and better than D'Amico Ryans. So, Jacksonville Jaguars, 24-17, handling business at home, doing what they need to do, win to keep ahead in that division. Moving on, we got the Indianapolis Toilet Bowl Colts traveling to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Brandon, what do you got for us?
Yeah, not really exciting. I don't see Indianapolis doing it. So I'm going to take the Baltimore Ratbirds to win this one 31-14.
I like it. Brandon or Isaac, what do you got for us?
So the injury report still says that AR5 is questionable. So I was thinking prior to him getting hurt, I was thinking that it was going to be like a high scoring game. I was expecting it to be like exciting. The two young dynamic quarterbacks that could run like hell, have cannons. But if Anthony Richardson plays, I say Baltimore wins 31-28. If he doesn't play, I think it's going to be a blowout Baltimore's way. I'll say 31-10. I think AR makes that much of a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Luckily, Gardner Minshew was able to come in and kind of keep everything going. Yeah, he was kind of everything, but he was also playing Houston. So, take that as you may. Some of these you got to take with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, could the Colts do this? Could they pull off a miracle? Maybe. But yeah, I fully expect the Ravens at home to keep winning, unfortunately. I got the Ravens handling business at home, 24-14. Moving to, what's that, 3-0? Are they 3-0, 2-0? Whatever, 2-1, something like that. All I know is they're ahead of the Bengals, which is not good. Moving on to the afternoon. We got 3 games for you because we got 2 games on Monday night. Yeah, not 1, but 2. So we got the Carolina Panthers traveling to the state of Washington, to Century League Stadium. I don't think it's called that anymore, to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Brandon, what do you got for me?
Unfortunately, obviously, I have to try to do well with my picks, so I'm not going to be dumb here. Carolina is just terrible. So that's no credit to Seattle. Carolina is just awful. So I think Seattle obviously wins this game. I think they, honestly beat them up pretty bad. I'm going to take Seattle 35-17.
I like it. I like it.
Oh
Isaac, what
man,
do you got?
Seattle has enough on offense and defense to easily beat these guys. Geno Einright back though. I think he's gonna light them up. I'm gonna say 33-21. Easy dub.
Yeah, I'm right with you guys. I mean, Bryce Young, that's what I'm saying. Some of these guys, could I see it? Sure, maybe.
I'm sick of these Alabama quarterbacks. I'm just sick of them.
Why? They just they
Yeah,
never
so
pan
sick
out.
of them.
They never pan out.
I hear
They
you.
never do. They never do. And here's the thing: I don't even think an Alabama quarterback's ever won the Super Bowl yet. I know Tua's there. Jalen Hurts. Could you really consider him that? I know he went to Oklahoma, but then you got who else? Mac Jones.
You got Mac Jones. Yep.
Yeah, there's somebody else I'm thinking of. There was AJ
Mhm.
McCarron who didn't do anything. So
Yep.
I don't like Alabama quarterbacks at all whatsoever.
No, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I fully expect the Seahawks to handle business at home against the Panthers. Bryce Young, looking okay, but yeah, I mean, Panthers are going to take a while to get everything going, I think. So I'm going Seattle 24-17, handling business at home. Moving on to our next game. We got the Chicago Bears traveling to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Isaac, what do you got?
I have paid the Patrick price so many times. So many times I've seen it in person. I've seen every game that man has played against the Raiders, and the only team I could see him putting more points on than the Raiders is the damn Bears. I think it's going to be easy 40 burger, 40-21 Kansas City. And the only thing I can see good from the Bears is people who have Fields, aka me, in one of my 3 leagues. I might get some garbage fantasy football points that might help me. That's about it.
Yeah, this one could be a bloodbath. Brandon, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I got a guaranteed victory. Chiefs. I think Chiefs win this one. 42-17. This is a no-brainer. They're in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Bears are just awful. They're just awful. So I don't know what, if you got to, I don't know what that team has to do, but they have just been floundering for such a long time. I think that they've been floundering since Jay Cutler and BJ Raji. They were still floundering at that point, like that interception and stuff, where, they were the number one, team in the conference. I mean, going back to those days, they've just been, I don't know, you went from
Rex Grossman.
Trubisky, all these different quarterbacks. Like, I just, Justin Fields, I like him, but he went to the wrong team. So Kansas City guaranteed victory here.
I like it. Well, you're going guaranteed victory, and that means we have a whoop, double guaranteed victory, baby. Yeah, we got the Kansas City Chiefs boat racing, motorboating, absolutely destroying these guys, 42-17. Kansas City Chiefs handling business at home in a double guaranteed victory. And the Bears need help in every situation. They need help everywhere. Every single position, they need help. Kansas City Chiefs dominating the Chicago Bears, sending them to 0-3. Moving on to our final afternoon game. We got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the desert, traveling, I guess, to another desert because the state of Texas is a desert. You got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the state of Arizona, traveling to Glendale to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Brandon, what do you got for us?
Joke of a game. Dallas Cowboys 35-7.
I
Yeah.
was gonna
Isaac, what do you
say,
got for us?
Dallas 35-17. I give them 10 more points. Parsons might have 3 sacks in this game before halftime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be this is another bloodbath. I don't know why they're doing it to these two teams, but yeah, I mean, regular season Dallas Cowboys, I mean, they're a great
Killing
team.
them.
I'll give them that much. They're like the Peyton Mannings of the regular season. That's basically what the Dallas Cowboys are. They're the greatest regular
First
season
round
team.
exits.
And then come playoffs, Yep, come playoffs, boom, donezo. Dallas Cowboys, that defense, I fully expect them to destroy and munch and lunch on the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to. Oh man, yeah. I think I had originally had 28, but yeah, I'm actually going to up it. I'm going 38 to 21. I think the Dallas Cowboys and that defense. I do think that like you guys are saying, they come to play and they absolutely dominate. Moving on to our night game, we got a classic battle, a classic matchup. We got the Steel City Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Sin City of Las Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Isaac, your team, you lead us off. What do you got for us?
Man, this is such a toss-up. I can't, when the Raiders play an elite quarterback, it usually goes one of two ways. You get blown the fuck out, or they play up to his competition for a little bit and win, or they or for a little bit and lose, or actually, in rare instances, win. When it comes to mid quarterbacks like Kenny Pickett, it makes me nervous because I still don't know how our defense is going to react to that. I think it's going to be a close game. As long as TJ Watt does not strip sack, fumble, return Jimmy G, I think we might win 28-24 because we are allergic to scoring above 30 points since 2019. I've probably seen it 3 or 4 times. It's gonna be the battle of the mid. It's gonna really show what the Raiders are gonna be like. Is Jimmy gonna?
I like it.
Well, I watched a lot of Niner games, and a lot of his career in the Niner games, on the Niners, and I already know the answer to that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting game. Brandon, what do you got for us?
I think it's going to be a good game. Raiders at home, they play really well at home. They played us well at home last year. We were able to take it to overtime, and, so that was a very good game. I just think the Raiders generally play well at home. So, Jimmy's a winner, man. Jimmy's a winner. And, I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but, shouts out to Jimmy. There were some really dark times for us in Santa Clara, San Francisco. And, he was one of the players that spearheaded, making a comeback and changing the culture. So I still think that, he's going to do well for the Raiders this year. I've always said that. And, I don't think last week is, a representation of, what he's going to do. I think that Josh Jacobs needs to get going. I think that the defense needs to play better. I don't think that you can let the, Kenny Pickett throw all over you. And, if Josh Jacobs can get going and, Devontae Adams can get going, I think the Raiders have a really good shot. So I'm going to pick the Raiders in this one. I do think that they're able to get more than 30 points, Isaac. I think I'm going to take them. 31-28.
I'm hoping.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
They can do what he's saying.
Okay. That'd be yeah. I like it. Well, the Raiders have looked kind of it's been 2 weeks, so there's not much tape, there's not much what you can really see as far as what this current Raider team is going to be. But I'll say this: Jimmy looks like he's running a lot better. Colton Miller, if you haven't seen his line tape, this dude is a monster. This dude is a double team in itself. So. Jimmy's got some good line protection ahead of him. You got Max Crosby, who's consistent. We have no idea what the hell is going on with Chandler Jones. That's kind of a joke.
Happens. AB, the center in the Super Bowl that went crazy, went to fucking Tijuana, found him 2 days later. All that stuff happens to us. Immaculate reception, the tuck rule.
Alden Smith.
After he did that to the Niners, we're like, yeah, you're good, dude. Come here. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, DeMarcus Russell. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. The Raiders' luck, bro. It's the Raiders' luck.
So, yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, God.
we'll see what happens. That defense, yeah, really, it's just question marks on that defense. A lot of young talent, a lot of people that they're trying to see if they can work into this new system, trying to see if they're going to be worth it moving forward into what I guess whatever Mike Mayock or not Mike Mayock, sorry, whatever Josh McDaniels wants to do. We'll see. Raiders a little shaky. Jimmy looking good to start off. Kenny Pickett looked good against the Browns. Got some good completions. George Pickens finally getting into the end zone. Najee Harris, where have you gone? Cooked. Running backs. Slow start for the running backs. Josh Jacobs, right? Najee Harris. A lot of running backs out there just getting off to just unusual slow starts to the NFL season. But we're going to go Jimmy G. We're going to go Las Vegas Raiders. Not a chance in hell I'm going with anybody in our division. If I don't have to, I guess I went with the Ravens, but it is what it is. Going with the Raiders, getting the job done, 27-17, handling business at home. Moving on to our 2 Monday night
Double
games.
header.
Our first Monday night game, we got the Los Angeles Rams Super Bowl rematch, I should say. Los Angeles Rams traveling to the stadium on the Ohio River, which is Paycor Stadium, to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Brandon, what do you got for us? Rams, Bengals, Super Bowl rematch. What do you got?
Yeah, I have to roll with the Bengals here, obviously to back you, but also because this is a must-win for Cincinnati. I just don't think you can go 0-3 and think that you're going to have this chance to go to the Super Bowl. So if I'm talking Super Bowl aspirations, you have to win this game. Just because I don't think that you're going to get a home game in the playoffs if you don't. So I just think that the Cincinnati is overall a more talented team than the Rams. I'll give the Rams credit. They got some good new receivers. Help me out. What's the dude's name that caught like 50 passes on Sunday?
Puka Nacua.
Puka.
Yeah,
Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
Yeah, Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua. Yeah, there you
Puka
go.
Nacua.
Yeah, there you go. So he's a good player, and obviously I don't think that Cooper Cup's back yet, so that's hurts them. But obviously you have still in my opinion the best defensive player in the league, Aaron Donald. Dude is crazy.
Yeah,
wreaks havoc on all quarterbacks. So gotta roll with Cincy here, man. Hopefully they win for you. I'm gonna take them in a close one. I think Cincinnati wins this one, 31-21.
I like it.
Joe and them are so desperate for a win. That offense is so stacked. It's just waiting to erupt. I think it's gonna be a close one, 30-27 Cincy. Chase is due. I mean, I got him in fantasy, and like he hasn't really been doing much. So I feel like with a guy like his caliber, he's gonna be due. And I think I don't know how. I mean, the Rams corners kind of got toasted a little bit with the against the Niners. It would have got a lot worse without those Purdy misses or 3 deep misses. So I think Chase might go off because of that.
I like it. The Bengals got rolling a little bit too late in that Ravens game. They finally got the offense together late in the third quarter and just basically weren't able to get the ball back to win the game. Because if the Bengals would have got the ball back, pretty sure Joey would have driven down the field and probably scored a touchdown. So all I can say is if we win this game, it's still bitter because we lost the Super Bowl, but it will be nice to beat the Los Angeles Rams, and it definitely will be nice to get kind of revenge on them in Cincinnati. It would have been even nicer if we played them in SoFi and beat them, but after all, it is just a regular season game. But I'm going to roll with my team. I fully expect the Cincinnati Bengals to get the job done. I hope Joey is healthy enough to where he can definitely be mobile and move and do everything he needs to do to avoid a further serious injury to that calf. because again, it's a long season. We're only in week 3. We have plenty of more time to go. So stay healthy while you can. But Cincinnati Bengals handle business, getting revenge at home against the Rams, 32-21, handling business and getting their first win of the year. And our last game of the week, we got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Baker May, Tampa Bay, to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brandon, what do you got for us?
I know that the whole world's probably thinking Philadelphia's gonna win this game. I think Tampa Bay's got something going, and I just think Philadelphia is overrated. I think they should have lost both of the games they played. So I'm gonna go ahead and take, in a bitter, vindictive pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game 35-31. I think Baker leads the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to 3-0.
I like it. What do you got for us?
It's crazy that Tampa's undefeated right now, and Baker's baking something. He's baking something.
Yeah.
But
he's cooking up something.
Sure. I think Philly, they could have lost those 2 games. That's right, Brandon. They definitely could have. But I think Philly's just going to take care of business. I think it'll be close though, 35-30. Philadelphia. They just got too much, man. They got Smith and Brown. Man, that 1-2 combo is more than enough. Just those 2 guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. I mean, the Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans connection seems to be heating up. The Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin connection seems to be heating up. And then on the other side, it looks like A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts connection that they had so good last year seems to be kind of dwindling, and now it's switched to Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts. So interesting dynamics happening on both of these teams. Baker Mayfield stepping in, basically seamless. It was funny where, all the tape coming out of camp, the Tampa Bay camp, just showing all his missed throws, his overthrows, basically just this is going to be the Tampa Bay future. And he comes out straight balling, and has something to prove. He, like we discussed with the Cleveland Browns, Cleveland dumping him for felony hands. So he has something to prove to everybody. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then goes to SoFi. Goes to the Rams, delivers one of the most embarrassing losses to the Raiders in the history.
That right there, that's a terrible
football. 2 losses. Lost to Jeff Saturday, coming off the couch to coach a football game. And then Baker Mayfield coming off a plane, being like, you know what, I'll learn the playbook. It's good. It's good.
I'll throw another one. Being up 21 to the Jags, losing by 10 to the Jags. But,
yeah. It's the Raiders. That's the Raiders for you. So luckily, you'll never have to deal with that quarterback ever again. You have an actual proven winner, and we'll see what happens. But with all that being said, I do like the Bucs in this game. However, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're just going to get there. Just going to chum up. They're going to chum by. They're going to somehow figure out a way to win this game, whether it be by special teams, whether it be by turnovers, or whether it be just that defense finally coming to play, the offense somewhat clicking. But yeah, I'm going to go Eagles here, finishing us off for the week. Eagles 24-17, getting the victory on the road. And that will do it for this week's edition of Meat on the 50. It is our picks episode, and as always, Brandon and I want to thank you, whether you're a new viewer, returning viewer, or everything in between. We want to thank you for taking the time for checking us out, for whether you stopped in for a short little bit, whether you stopped in for the whole episode. We want to thank you. We appreciate you, and we hope that we can keep you coming back for more. And we want to give a very special thank you to our guest this week, Mr. Isaac Gonzalez. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me,
Isaac.
mate.
Yes, we glad to have you. We had a great time. It was a good time. I think it's I like the new wrinkle. I like the new wrinkle that Brandon and I have added to the show. It's just it gives us something else to do.
My suggestion.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Next
what is your
season.
suggestion?
Live show at a game.
Yeah. See, we could even do it. We're coming at you live from a game. All we're doing here is growing and expanding. Isaac, you have the floor first. Any last words you would like to say to the people?
If you're a Raider fan, get ready. I have no idea what's going to happen. But I'm so happy football season's here, man. Life has purpose again. Every day, I'm just thinking about Sunday. So I can't wait. I can't wait till January because we're not going to make it to February.
Yeah, true. I like it. Brandon, any last words for the people?
Super excited. I know that Isaac can't wait for Sunday. I can't wait for Thursday. So this week
I might be working that too.
That game, that'd be cool. Hopefully all three of us get wins this week. We're all on the episode. That would be fun. Bengals need a win. Niners got to keep this win streak alive, and then for the Raiders to get their first win on a big primetime game at home. I hope we all end the week. Primetime is it their
primetime? Yeah.
Yeah, first primetime win. And so if we can all walk away with a win, I know that we'll have a good weekend.
I like it. Yeah. And it's nice that, each of us have our teams playing on 3 different days. We take up the entire week. We got one on Thursday, we got one on Sunday, and we got one on Monday. That's how it is done. That's going to do
all
it.
Primetime games. All
primetime games also. That's true. I like it. We'll be back. We'll be back next week, but that's going to do it for this edition of Meat on the 50. You know what to do. If at any point during this video you liked anything that you saw, do me a favor and just smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and just tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime new videos drop, you're right there to consume the content, because we're dropping content all season long. That's going to do it for this edition of Meat on the 50. That is one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan, and that is one of my best friends, Isaac Gonzalez. Isaac, say goodbye. And for Brandon and myself, proper English, we'll see you next week. Brandon Jake, we're out.